All right, hey everybody. This is Andrew with Apex Cards, and man, really appreciate everyone who's starting to subscribe to the videos. It seems like you guys like the kind of stuff that I'm putting out. So, in the comments have been great as well. And one thing that you guys have been asking for is to hear a little bit more about how I find these massive collections, and where I hear about them, and how the process goes. So. I thought I'd detail out for you three deals that I came across, two of which I purchased, the last of which I passed on, and I still regret it to this day. So anyway, let's start out here. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll talk about the very first large bulk, million card collection that I bought, and I internally. To myself, call this the warehouse collection. So it was my first bulk deal, and it was in the town that I live in. So I live in outside of Birmingham in Alabama. It was in a suburb of Alabama, and the deal was less than 2 miles. This collection was less than 2 miles away from my house. So during the pandemic, late rather 2020, most businesses were closed down, and there was this. There's this auctioneer in town that we like to go to. He does some Friday night auctions. They're fun to go to sometimes, and we followed his Facebook page, and he mentioned that if they're not holding auctions, but if people wanted to come by their warehouse, you could schedule a time and do so. So I was like, what the heck? Might as well. I'm really bored. Let's go by the warehouse. So we go by the warehouse. He's mainly an antiques dealer, mainly furniture, huge warehouse, and when I'm in there, I ask him, does he have any Pokemon cards? Because Pokemon cards were real hot at the time, and I was trying to track some down. And he said, no, but I have some sports cards. And, okay, that's interesting. And I said, can I see them? And he said, yeah, how big is your U-Haul? And I was like, what? And so he took me back to the back room, to a back room. We went down some hallways in this warehouse, and he turned on a light in a room, and there was a massive amount of cards, and I'll show you exactly what I saw right when I walked in the door. So got some photos in this slideshow here. All right, so this is a photo of kind of one corner of the room, and I'm like, oh boy, this is a big boy deal right here. And so this, and you've seen many of these boxes in my previous videos, but this is just a portion of the room. There were probably, I guess we're close to 1 million cards in this entire room. This deal was probably around 1 million card, 800,000 to 1 million card deal. But you can see here, he when we come in the room, he mentioned that he wanted to clear off these shelves. He had another use for these shelves, so if I was interested in the deal, to make him a deal, maybe we could work something out. And so let's see if I got another photo here. I do. So here you can see the monster boxes. I mean, there was a significant amount of cards here, and this is just, another angle. Let's go back. Yeah, so I'm not sure the orientation of these photos. It's been quite a while since I was in this room, obviously, because I bought all the stuff. But here's another photo here. You can see there's some sealed product right here. Not very valuable sealed product, but still a good sign to see some sealed product. And most of it, as you can see, is going to be junk wax, but if you know how to sell in bulk, it's fairly easy to get rid of. Just takes some time. But I knew right away I wanted to make an offer on this collection. But I didn't know what to offer, right? So let's go and see if there's another picture. Yeah, here's another picture of even more. So, I mean, there was one whole wall was just like monster boxes stacked up here. So I wasn't familiar with this era of sports cards. I knew it was junk wax mainly, but I called in a buddy of mine who would know better, and he came in and took a look at everything, and we found some reasonably valuable cards in some of the boxes. So anyway, I ended up making a deal, and I basically bought this whole room for $1,500. That's the offer I made him. He accepted, and I loaded it up. I have a little trailer, little lawnmower trailer, and I packed my car full, and stacked it on the trailer, strapped everything down, and drove it home and unloaded it. And that was my first foray into the bulk collection buying, and I can tell you it was a very good deal. It has paid me over and over again. In one of these boxes, there was like, I don't know, 11 or 12 Derek Jeter rookies, sent them all to PSA, you know. It was just awesome, awesome. The Jordans, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Jordans. You know, like there'd be these boxes here. Oh, let's go back one here. This Topps 93. This would be sorted in order, and there'd be like a, you know, you just look up what number Jordan is in the set, and you go, you'll say it's 243. You go there, and there'll be like 17 of them in order. So Jordan cards blew up, you know, soon after buying this collection, right? The Last Dance, this was around that time. So we did very, very well with this stuff, especially the basketball. So this was my first collection that I bought. The second collection that I bought is called the Storage Locker Collection, and I probably ran into this collection maybe, let's say, 8 to 10 months after the first collection that I purchased. And the Storage Locker Collection was probably 2.5 times bigger than the you know, antique dealer auction collection, right? The storage building collection. Sorry, the warehouse collection, I guess is what I call it. So the Storage Locker Collection was and is one of the most incredible buys that I've ever made. So I get a call from a guy. He probably heard that I had bought the collection here, you know, close to my hometown. Heard through the grapevine, and he reaches out to me. He actually texts me first and says, "Hey, I've got a storage unit full of cards, and it's a 20 by 10, and the boxes are stacked to the ceiling. I want you to come look at it." And I was actually on vacation at the time, and I told him, "Hey, yeah, I'm on vacation, but the second I get back, I'm going to come look at it." And so it turns out, you know, through text, he said that him and his son used to own an old card and comic shop here in the city. And they closed it down sometime around 2007, I believe. I'm thinking maybe it was actually earlier than that, based off of the dates of the cards that were in this collection. But let's say 2007. And it has been untouched since. So he has had it in storage for 13 years at $120 a month. That means that he has paid $18,000 storing this stuff. And he wants it gone. And I happen to be the very first person to see this collection. And so I've got some great photos here of what it looked like when it was literally like a storage locker. You just go, it was outside storage locker. We pulled up, and this is what we saw. Boom. He was not lying. It was literally 10 by 20 stacked to the ceiling. So there was a little area here where you could walk, but as you can see, I mean, this thing was packed out, this whole storage unit. And you can see it goes way back here. And the second the doors flew open, I'm like, hell yeah, this is right down my alley. I'm going to buy this collection, whatever it takes, because I'm feeling confident, right? I've got one under my belt, so I feel like I can handle this collection. This was, again, 2.5, maybe even 3 times as big as the warehouse collection. So ended up being, you know, a significant undertaking to get all this stuff home. So let's look at some more photos here. Oh yeah, so right when the doors open, one of the very first things I saw, and I've done a video about these Yu-Gi-Oh starter decks, but there was a box right on the floor right when the door opened. And I looked down and I could see them in there. I was like, hell yeah, there's going to be a bunch of rare Pokemon in this thing. These decks are from 2003. I'm like, oh my god, I don't know anything about these Yu-Gi-Oh decks, but I know that they're old and I know they're likely valuable. And so it turns out they were very valuable. The deck on the left is about a $300 deck, and the deck on the right is a $200 deck. And there were 43 of these decks. Probably 25 of the purple ones, and another, you know, 20 or so of the green ones. So just right there, massive amount of money, over $10,000 worth of value just in these decks right there. So just incredible. I was thinking, man, there's going to be like old sealed Pokemon in here, which turned out there was not. There was no sealed Pokemon. There was no Pokemon Raw either. So I don't know what was going on there. And then let's see. So I knew right away when I saw this and I saw just the scale that I was going to buy this collection. I had to find a way to make it work. Another thing is that there were tons of uncut sheets. I don't know anything about uncut sheets. Know a lot more now than I did, and these are fairly common. This particular uncut sheet, and all the ones that I got maybe 15, 20 uncut sheets out of this storage locker, and they're big, they're bothersome, they're hard to keep in good condition, they're hard to store. Not many people collect them. Sometimes they're valuable, but that was very interesting to me at the time. Another thing was that he said that they had a card and comic shop. I'm like, okay, well, where are the comics? You know, you've got millions of cards here. Where are the comics? And he said, well, a couple years earlier, I sold all of the comics. And so that was the case. All of the comics had been sold. There were a few. I've got maybe a few hundred comics that we found kind of hidden and tucked away in the back, but nothing of note, right? Just kind of stuff like this. But still, this intrigued me, right? I don't know a lot about comics, but I know I want them, right? So let's keep going here. Let's see some more photos. So here's just kind of some more internal photos. You can see here's like a trolling motor to a boat. He was storing his own personal stuff in here, right? It was he had a lot of personal stuff in the storage unit too, but 80% of it was cards. You can also see here let me go back here. You can also see here there's a lot of action figures up here, starting lineup action figures. I didn't know at the time, but these are damn near worthless. But if you're interested, I've got 100 of these action figures. So we got all of those action figures. Also this box here, you can see that it says Wizards of. So this is like a Wizards of the Coast box. I think it's Star Wars something, maybe Clone Wars. We didn't find a lot of Star Wars cards in the collection, but I was seeing Wizards of the Coast. I'm thinking, man, this is going to be incredible. There's going to be tons of sealed product hidden in here, which wasn't the case. There's tons of sealed sports, but not a ton of besides the Yu-Gi-Oh, there was no Pokemon or any other notable sealed product. But there did end up being a number of sealed cases, sealed basketball cases, mainly sealed hockey cases, and a lot of interesting stuff. So this collection was awesome. So anyway, I made a deal with the guy. I'm not going to share the price, but it was a reasonable price for this deal. And now I have a problem, right? Because I've got to get all of this stuff home. It's not close to home. It's like about an hour drive away. So what did I do? U-Haul, baby. Went out, rented the old U-Haul. Took us 2 trips. You can see the scale here, right? Each of these have 5,000 cards in them. There's just tons of them, and then we're just stacking in tons of stuff around it, the smaller boxes. And you guys have, of course, seen this collection as it's been strewn out in my garage, but this is how it looked. This was probably the first load here, and this was maybe the second load here on the right. And I think there may be some more images here. Yeah, here. So here's the last image. And this is maybe the last load that we took. Look, there's the sealed Skybox. This is Skybox Series 1 basketball sealed case right there. So just awesome. This was the last load we took. Had to keep the U-Haul for a couple days, make multiple trips there, but we finally got it all back here and into the garage. And man, it was just had to hire my cousin to come help me. It was a big undertaking to move all of this, but we got it done, and it has been an extremely profitable collection. Just that case, that's a $1,200 case alone right there. So, not counting anything else in the back of this U-Haul. So, just crazy. I still have this case, by the way. I'm going to hold on to it. Just an awesome collection. And then last but not least, the collection that never was, or the purchase that never was, the New Jersey collection. This is a super weird story. I actually found this collection from eBay. I was buying from a guy. I was buying some stuff from a guy, mid-2000s basketball. And we kind of struck up a conversation. He says, hey, I've got tons of this stuff. You should come see it. And I'm like, what are you talking about, man? And long story short, he found a way to get his phone number to me, and we began to text. And so what it turns out is that he has a warehouse in New Jersey. I don't know how he came across this warehouse, because he didn't appear to own it, but he owned the collection within the warehouse. And it's one of the most massive collections I've ever seen. This, I mean, this is probably a 10 million card collection, so 3 times bigger even than the storage locker collection. We talked long enough that I actually flew from Alabama to New Jersey just to see this collection. It was so incredible, and I'll show you why I took the flight. And it is truly incredible. I did not purchase this collection, but I could have for $30,000. That would have been $30,000 delivered to Alabama. And so I'll talk some more about why I didn't buy it. But, you know, here are some photos, right? This, you can see how deep this warehouse goes, but this is just a small angle, you know, a decent angle on the scale of what was in this room. This doesn't even begin to show you what all was in here. This photo on the right, of course, you're going to see tons of these long, you know, 800 count boxes. I mean, this stuff was everywhere. I mean, there was tens of millions, maybe even 20 million cards in this warehouse. It was wild. You know, here's just some more photos. I didn't take a lot of photos, unfortunately, when I was there. I flew up there, and it happened to be a heat wave. It was like 100 degrees in New Jersey. I'm not familiar with New Jersey, of course, and it was extremely hot. And you could only stay in this warehouse so long. I mean, you'd pass out from heat exhaustion. So I was just in there trying to assess any kind of value. And I mean, I was finding just incredible stuff. You see how some of these boxes are marked with letters? Like this box is marked with a B. This box is marked with an R. If you see a box that's marked with a B, if it has the correct lid on it, by the way, if you see a box marked with B, that means that all of the players in that box, their last name begins with a B. So Bagwell, Bueller, Bob, whatever. All the B's are going to be in the box. It would be multiple sports. So you'd have basketball players, hockey, baseball. I mean, it was just insane. It made no sense how this collection was sorted. Look, here's some there's like a Rodman right there. I mean, just incredible stuff. Bunch of 92 Fleer here, basketball, 91, 92. You know, here's a box labeled autograph. These probably were, in fact, all autographs. I mean, just incredible stuff. Yeah, these photos appear to be side by side. You know, MLB 2K. Just incredible. Let's look at some more photos here. You know, some of it was just thrown. I mean, like, this stuff is just thrown together, just boxes piled on top of each other. Just, I don't know how this collection came to be, because there was like modern, and then there was you know, junk wax, and then there was even vintage. There was an entire room of just vintage, like pre-1970. Just incredible collection. Let me show you the video. Let's see if I can. This is the video that he sent me, and I would stitch this to the end of the YouTube video that I'm making, but I want to be able to talk over it. So this is the initial video that he sent me. This is when you come in the door of the warehouse. So you come right in, and this is the view that you're presented with. I mean, just incredible amounts of stuff. You know, here's some Pokemon cards. You know, here's a guy sitting here. Who knows what he's up to? But on and on and on it goes. Just like an impossible amount of stuff to assess. So, like, look at this view, looking back. So all of these boxes here have letters on them. Like, this looks like an I right here. You know, and inside of them would be the players. So if you run into a B box, right, you got Kobe Bryant. So there'd be a whole row of Kobe's. It was just incredible. Or a J box, you just have a whole row of Jordans. You know, thousands of Jordans. It was incredible. So, just seeing this video just makes me sad that I didn't buy this. I mean, for one, my garage is completely full. Like, where am I going to put this? I'm going to have to buy a storage unit of my own to put this in, and then slowly go through it. And I haven't even gone through the collections that I've already bought. Oh, on and on it goes, man. Look at this. So this is the vintage room right here, this little doorway. He doesn't really go in here in the video, but that's where all the vintage was. And you can see how much stuff is in there. And so, I don't know, the guy wanted $30,000 cash, or $30,000 maybe via wire. I don't know him real well. He says he's going to drive it down to Alabama. What are you going to drive this in? You're going to have you got to have a a convoy of semi trucks to bring this down. I mean, it's just a massive amount of stuff. And then all this in the back, he doesn't show it very well. Yeah, he does. Here we go. All that is sealed product back there. It's hard to see. But I mean, I spent maybe 6-7 hours sweating my ass off in this room, and it was just a blast. But, you know, I just couldn't make it work. I couldn't figure out, I just didn't have enough faith in the guy to get it to me. You know, I was going to have to fly back up there to watch it be loaded, you know, figure out how to safely transport it. And I just felt freaked out by the deal and ended up not doing the deal, and I regret it. I regret it. So another thing is that after I left and, you know, tried to do some negotiating after the fact, the guy just quit speaking to me altogether, which is pretty typical of card guys, by the way. I don't know if you have met any people who sell and buy cards. You know, they're a little weird, myself included. So anyway, that's the New Jersey collection, the one that got away. And yeah, just wanted to show you guys three collections that I ran across. Of course, two of which that I bought, but they're everywhere. Collections like this are literally everywhere. 2 of them were within an hour of my house. The first two that I showed you. This one was in New Jersey. It was fun to fly up there and see it, but I probably could have found one in Atlanta, right? You know, just down the road, or in New Orleans, or somewhere in Florida, right? That would be, hell, maybe another one in my hometown, just like this. So anyway, these collections exist. If you have the ability to purchase them and store them and sort them, they can be a gold mine. But if you don't, no problem. Buy smaller, higher value collections, and do it however you like. Enjoy yourself. But I love seeing collections like this. I just love it. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys, you know, learned something from it and found it entertaining. Because I find this stuff endlessly entertaining. These big, you know, deals that are just out there hiding that no one kind of knows about, and you come across them. It's just so cool. Anyway, thanks a lot, everyone. I appreciate you all.